If you've been scrolling through endless lists of binoculars, watching side-by-side videos, and still can't decide which pair actually lives up to the hype, this review is here to settle the confusion. I've spent the last few weeks taking the Leica 10x50 Ultravid HD Plus out of the box, using it on a coastal walk, at a local birdwatching meet, and even on a starlit night from my backyard. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What I found is that the experience of holding a Leica isn't just about the numbers on the spec sheet, it's about how those numbers translate into real-world moments, and whether the price tag matches the value you actually get. Let's start with the kind of day you'd pull these binoculars out. Imagine you're at a wildlife reserve, standing 200 meters from a herd of elk. The 10 magnification lets you read the subtle movement of a calf's ear, while the 50mm front lenses gather enough light to keep the image bright even as the canopy thins. The roof prism design with P4 coating means the colors stay true and the contrast stays punchy, so you can differentiate between a brown bear's fur and the surrounding moss without squinting. In a practical sense, this level of clarity shines when you're trying to spot a distant bird perched on a high branch. You can see feather patterns that lower-powered binoculars would blur into a gray blob. For anyone who spends weekends tracking wildlife, photographing distant scenes, or simply wants to enjoy a sunset over a lake without straining, the visual performance is where the Leica really delivers. Now, not everyone needs that kind of power. The 10x50 Ultravid isn't a lightweight travel companion. Its magnesium housing, while incredibly sturdy, adds noticeable bulk. At roughly 3 pounds, it feels solid in the hand, but you'll notice the strain after an hour of hiking up a ridge. If you're a casual hiker who prefers a compact pair to toss in a pocket, you might find the size cumbersome. The 15mm eye relief is generous enough for eyeglass wearers, but the adjustable eyepieces require a bit of fine-tuning each time you switch between users, a small inconvenience if you're sharing the binoculars with friends or family. So, if you're looking for a set you can clip onto a backpack and forget about, this model may feel over-engineered for that purpose. Durability is where Leica's reputation shows up clearly. The housing is filled with nitrogen, which eliminates internal fogging even when you move from a chilly morning onto a warm afternoon trail. The waterproof rating means you can take it out in light rain or near spray from a waterfall without worrying about condensation ruining the optics. In my tests, a sudden drizzle didn't affect the view at all, the image stayed crisp, and the focus ring moved smoothly. This makes the binoculars a solid choice for boaters or for those who don't want to be forced to store their gear after a sudden downpour. The trade-off, however, is the price. Leica sits at the premium end of the market, and you'll be paying a significant amount for that ruggedness and the brand's optical pedigree. If you're a first-time buyer on a tight budget, you might get comparable magnification from a less expensive brand, but you would sacrifice the nitrogen seal and the refined image quality that Leica guarantees. So who should walk away with these binoculars? If you are an avid birdwatcher, a wildlife photographer, or a dedicated hunter who values a bright, high-contrast image at 10 magnification, the Leica 10x50 Ultravid HD Plus offers a level of detail that can turn a fleeting glance into a studied observation. Its wide 6.7-degree field of view, about 352 feet at 1,000 yards, lets you scan large sections of sky or terrain without constant panning, which is a real advantage when you're tracking fast-moving subjects like raptors. Conversely, if your typical use involves casual stadium viewing, short trips to the park, or you're just starting out and want a more budget-friendly option, you might find the weight, size, and price to be more than you need. In the end, the Leica 10x50 Ultravid HD Plus feels less like a gadget and more like a tool you carry into moments you care about. Its strengths lie in delivering bright, color-accurate images in challenging lighting, staying fog-free under rapid temperature changes, and holding up to the rigors of outdoor life. The practical downsides are its heft and the premium cost, which make it a serious commitment rather than a spontaneous purchase. If those trade-offs line up with your priorities, you're looking at a binocular that will likely serve you well for many seasons. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon.